Iha samsare bahudustare kripaya pare pahi murare. The Acharya has stressed the need for prayer. There are three stages. You are either in a position where you think of yourself as the body. Then you will need a statue. Talk about it. Think about that God. The more you do, the more you connect. Do the worship. Go to the temple. If you do this on a daily basis, you will connect with that God. It is a very difficult, shoreless ocean, and no matter how much effort we do, we cannot guarantee we'll cross that ocean of life. So the prayer is very important. Self-realization is God realization, has minimum dependence on society, enjoys life like a child or a madman. Now please understand, many people misunderstand this Bhaja Govindam. They think that Bhaja Govindam is saying, or Adi Shankara is saying, don't enjoy, don't create money, don't enjoy life, don't enjoy. No. Joy knowing that this will not last, in knowing that this will not, when you are up against a terrible calamity, it may not come to your rescue. But what will come to your rescue is that connection with that unchangeable consciousness which controls your mind, and through your mind controls your sense organs, and through your sense organs controls your entire experience of the world and reality. Only a prepared and a purified mind can seek the purpose of life. The world basically is a projection of the mind. When the mind ends or is dissolved, the world also dissolves. And the example is, into us in a common world, is deep sleep. Wherever there is a vision of difference, there is fear, anger, greed, pride, envy, and jealousy. But we don't seek it. Hence, seek Govinda, that reminder constantly at the beginning of a verse, at the end of the verse. You will not know how to use that power. So that is why here it's saying that, first of all, the purpose of this text, Bhaja Govindam, it's called by its other name, Moha Mudgara. Mudgara means a hammer, and Moha means, in Sanskrit, delusions. Now, Moha is also called Maya. Moha Maya, they usually come together. And this delusion or Moha Maya basically means that something doesn't have a quality, but you ascribe a quality to it. We think that the world is responsible for joys and suffering. And something does have a quality, but we do not understand that. Meaning our own consciousness has this ability and responsibility for creating joys and pleasures, but we don't understand. So this misunderstanding, giving a power to something which doesn't have, and not recognizing the power that you do have, that is called the delusion, not understanding the reality of something. Now, so what is the solution? What is that solution that will remove this delusion? This book, the title of this book, Bhaja Govindam. Bhaja Govindam means worship or seek that power that controls the mind, and through the mind controls the sense organs, and through the sense organs controls our experience of the world. So that is the Govindam principle. And Bhaja is well understood that there are 9 forms of connecting, 9 steps of connecting with that power, that ultimate supreme power. And those 9 are, first is Shravana, hearing, not just mechanically hearing, but learning about that power. Then Kirtanam, not just chanting, but talking about it, shlokas, mantras. So that is Kirtanam. Third is Smaranam, thinking about it all the time. The first 2 is listening about it, talking about it, chanting, then going back and reflecting on it, because otherwise there will be no growth. Then Pada Sevanam, dissolving your ego, knows everything and I am surrendering to that power. Then Archanam, everything that you have, that you do on a worldly level, you offer the best to that power, whether it is food, clothes, activity, knowledge, everything. Then comes Vandanam, glorifying that power. Then comes Dasyam, serving that power. And how do you serve that power? By serving its manifestations, people, animal, plant, nature, every which way that you feel called to, serving the manifestations of that power. Then comes Sakhyam. You will develop a relationship, a friendship. Of all the relationship, friendship is considered the highest, because you can be yourself and you will start having a dialogue with this power. And then comes Atma Nivedanam, which is completely, totally surrendering yourself and merging with that power. You can't do that. We say we surrender, but unless we do these 9, previous 8, we cannot do that. And understanding that this supreme power is what we keep talking about it, and I'll remind it again and again. We are made up of 2 components. One is matter and one is consciousness. Anything in the world, including us, that is made up of 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and space, is called matter. And consciousness, which is not made out of these 5 elements. So everything in the world is made up of these 5 elements, including our body, our mind, and all the objects in the world. That is called matter. And that matter is impermanent, constantly changing. The nature of things made out of the 5 elements is that it will change. It can never stay. But there is something that does not change, is the same always, all the time, finite, not finite, infinite, immortal. That is our consciousness. That is the Govindam. Whatever name you give it. Govindam means Go is our sense organs and mind. Vindam is having complete control over it. Then we talked about why Bhaja Govindam. This says, because most of us are pulled in one or the other. Bhaja is devotional aspect of religion, and Govindam is the knowledge, intellectual, wisdom aspect of religion. But what happens, we discussed last time, when we are too pulled in the devotion aspect, then what is the pitfall? My God is better than your God, because we get stuck on a form. My religion is better than your religion. That's the point. That is why the jnana part of it is very important. Govindam, understanding ultimately that God principle is one supreme power which encompasses everybody, everything, all the time, everywhere. You can give it any other name, but the minute you limit it, it's not God. Then it becomes something less than that Govindam principle. And also understanding Bhaja and Govindam, Jnana and Bhakti, what is the difference? When it is Bhakti, is like feet, your feet. It'll take you everywhere. And Jnana is like your eyes. You must know where you're going. So imagine if you just have your eyes and don't have the feet, you know where you're going, but you cannot go. You don't have the feet. But if you just have the feet and no eyes, you keep on going around in circles, you don't know where you're going. So that is why the devotion, bhakti, and jnana are so important. We also discussed 3 obstacles on the path of spiritual growth. Any growth, but ultimate growth is spiritual growth, which is the Hanumanji's 3 obstacles: Mainaka, Surasa, Simhika. Mainaka are well-intentioned, ill-informed people stopping your spiritual growth. Second is Surasa, which is your obligations, your responsibilities and relationships. And third is Simhika, which is your shadow qualities, which your vasanas, you're not even aware of it, it's subconscious. So we discussed that also last time. Then what we discussed was, God has created this perfectly imperfect world so that it is an exit strategy. So that at some point we realize that we're going round and round the roller coaster, but there is a way out. Because if it is too sweet, too wonderful, nobody will ever want to get out of it. And the exit plan is given in all Vedanta. Every text talks about it, 4 goals. So dharma and the other 2. Artha is your resources, and Kama are your desires. You have to take your resources and your desires and apply dharma. What is dharma? Kurukshetra, Dhammakshetra. Right thinking, right action. To do what? Ultimate goal is moksha, moha kasya. And what is moha? That delusion that we have no power, all the power is out there. That delusion will be gone. And we discussed the first 6 verses of Bhaja Govindam talk about the limitations of worldly temptations. We are all caught, entangled and chained in worldly temptation. We discussed first 5. Today we'll discuss the 6th one. The limitations of the worldly world. First limitation, first verse was worldly knowledge. Any worldly knowledge, it is important to survive in the world, but when the time comes, whether it is death or a calamity or a challenge, it will not help you. So not only worldly knowledge, even scriptural knowledge, if it is just remains as knowledge, it won't help you. You have to practice it. Second was the limitation of worldly wealth. We discussed about how much wealth should somebody make and be happy with it. We connected that to varnas last time. Third was worldly pleasures, which was emblematic in the form of a woman's body. This is our sensory pleasure, especially sexual pleasures, physical bodily pleasures. The limitations of that we discussed, that it is just a modification of flesh and fat. And very quickly you can lose, you can grow old, you can have an accident, your beauty can be destroyed. The first one was limitation of worldly knowledge. Second one was limitation of worldly wealth. Third was limitation of worldly pleasures. Fourth was limitation of worldly existence, that lotus, Lotus flower, our life is like the water droplet on the leaf of the lotus flower. It is there, shining, looking beautiful, but at a moment's notice, that water will just can vanish. Our life is like that. So we don't know when exactly. We know this world of made out of 5 elements is transitory, is transient, is temporary, but we don't know when it will go, when the wealth will go, when the money will go, when the connection will go, when the intelligence will go, when the life will go. We don't know. So we have to prepare ahead of time. Then we talked about the limitations of worldly relationships. All our, whether it is our parents, children, cousins, employees, friends, everything is there as long as we have the ability to earn and be useful. The minute that ability goes, you go into a coma state, or you are terribly diseased or ill, slowly these things will go away from you. Not because they don't love you, that is the nature of the world. If you're in a coma, how many times will people come and how many hours will they spend with you? Or if you cannot, if you're dementia, who will come and spend time with you? So the limitations of worldly relationships. Translation of each of the shloka, just for repetition purpose. The first one is, seek Govinda, seek Govinda, seek Govinda, O fool. When appointed time comes of death, grammar rules surely will not save you. And of course, grammar rules we translate or extrapolate to all other worldly knowledge. The second one is the Mudha Jahihi Dhanardhama Krishna. The meaning is, O fool, give up the thirst to possess wealth. Create in your mind, devoid of passions, thoughts of reality. With whatever you get as a reward of the past, remember we talked about Varna, entertain your mind and be happy. So that is the limitation of worldly wealth. First was limitation of worldly knowledge. This is limitation of worldly wealth. Then the third one is Nari, and the explanation for that is, seeing the full bosom of young maidens and their navel, do not fall prey to maddening delusion. This is but a modification of flesh and fat. Think well thus in your mind again and again. This is the limitations of worldly pleasures. Then the fourth one is, now the water drop playing on a lotus petal has an extremely uncertain existence. So also is life, ever unstable. Understand the very world is consumed by disease, conceit, and pangs of jealousy, riddled with pangs of jealousy. So this existence, you cannot depend on it. When it will go, you don't know. It will go, that is guaranteed. When it will go, you don't know. So prepare. When the time comes, how will you prepare? Today we'll discuss. And then Yavat, this is the ability to the relationships, limitations of relationships, which are dependent on your ability to earn and provide. As long as you're useful, everybody will be around you. The minute you're not useful, you will be forgotten very quickly. As long as there is ability to earn and save, so long are all your dependents attached to you. Later on, when you come to live with an old, infirm body, no one at home cares to speak even a word with you. And like I told you last time, maybe you may feel that all of these do not apply to you. It may not apply to you right now, and not all of them you will experience in this lifetime. But these are the parameters. So at least 1 or 2 or 3 of them will apply to you, and most likely all of them you'll experience. So that's why the injunction that ready yourself with that information, connect with that power that is not changing, because everything else will change. In fact, this is a beautiful quote I got somewhere. If you always do what you have always done, you will always get what you've always got. So you're caught up in this worldly affairs, worldly wealth, worldly knowledge, worldly pleasure, worldly relationships, worldly everything, then you will get that. But when the time comes, you will never be able to overcome your fear of death, fear of disease, fear of losing. And lose you will, because alone we came and alone we'll go. But once you understand there is a part of you that will never leave you, that is the consciousness. In Vedanta, it is called Brahman. And you are the realization that knowledge will give you ananda. That it's like watching a movie. Everything is my projection. And if that finishes, that's not the end of me. The watcher, the observer, the witness never goes. The movies may change, the movies may come and go. So that knowledge you'll get. Now we'll go to the last of the limitations, which is limitation of worldly love. Because in today's world, we have confined love to man-woman relationship. There are so many kinds of love, but that is what we understand love today. That is the Valentine's Day thing everybody talks about. So यावत् तवनो निवसति देहे तावत् पृच्छति कुशलं गेहे गतवति वायुदेहपाये भार्या बिभ्यति तस्मिन् काये भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते. So let's break it down. As long as pavana, the breath, nivasati, dwells, dehe, in your body, tavat, so long, prichati, inquires, kushalam, of your welfare, gehe, at home, gatavati vayu, when the breath leaves, dehe apaye, the body decays, bharya, even your wife with whom you have enjoyed bodily pleasures every time, so closely body contact, even your wife, and wife can also mean husband, bibhyati, fears, tasmin, in that very kaya, body you are so attached to, so enjoying, the minute the prana goes, you're scared of that body immediately. Bhaya, seek Govinda. So understand. Now, please understand. Many people misunderstand this Bhaja Govindam. They think that Bhaja Govindam is saying, or Adi Shankara is saying, don't enjoy, don't create money, don't generate money, don't enjoy life, don't enjoy. No. Enjoy knowing that this will not last. And knowing that this will not, when you are up against a terrible calamity, it may not come to your rescue. But what will come to your rescue is that connection with that unchangeable consciousness which controls your mind, and through your mind controls your sense organs, and through your sense organs controls your entire experience of the world and reality. So this one is part of the 6 limitations, which is very simple, easy to understand. I don't think we have to go into details of this one. The next one is what we will start with, which is this Govinda, this supreme power we're talking about. The power that can give you security and peace is available to you at all times, everywhere, but we don't seek it. Hence, seek Govinda, that reminder constantly at the beginning of a verse, at the end of the verse. And unless you find that power, discover that power, and use this 8 Navada Bhakti to connect with it, to establish a relationship, you will not know how to use that power. So that is why here it's saying that this verse I will read, and then I'll explain it. Balastavat krida sakta tarunastavat taruni sakta vridhastavat chinta sakta parame brahmani kopi na sakta भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते. We have given a general trend. Bala stavat, so long as one is in one's childhood, krida, towards play, asakta, one is attached. Taruni stavat, a youth, so long as one is in your youth, taruni, towards young women, towards passion, men and women, whatever it is. When you're a young adolescent, your obsession or your attention is drawn towards love and sex. In the beginning, it's toys. Second is bodily pleasures. Then, as long as one is old, an old man, middle-aged and old age, towards anxiety. Our obsession and attention goes towards anxiety, health, wealth, children, and all these other things. Sakta. Parame, to the supreme, Brahmani, Brahman, that unchanging reality, consciousness, Kopina, no one, anyone, alas, na sakta, seen. So, seek Govinda. So, the general trend for most people is, as long as we are children, this is not the time to think about spirituality. All we think about enjoying life with different toys. Then we move on to the next phase, young people, love and relationships. We don't have time today. Oh, we are too young. This is not the time for spirituality. Let us enjoy relationships. And then before you know it, you're middle-aged. Slowly, your family, your children, your job, all kinds of worries, and old age, disease. And then you say, oh my God, I never took time out to connect, to understand first. How will you connect if you don't know what you're connecting with? And fully establish a dasyam or at least sakhyam with it before you do Atma Nivedanam. You must go up to those two stages where you can talk to that power as a friend or talk to serve that power to the point that you become one with that power. So this divine power is available to us, but we, excuse me, cannot establish a relationship with unless we invest time understanding and establishing contact with it. And this comes with, I think one of the best ways this is today's world, only one religion I think is insisting on it, that is Islam. This 5 times call to prayer, people make fun of it, but if you ever hear that, you have, everybody calls to their own idea of God. But anytime you see somebody praying or talking about God, or there is a call to God, use it as a bell, as an alarm. Oh, did I connect with my power today, that power that I believe in? So making time in Vedanta, at least 2 times they've given us. 3. If you're a Pandit or a Brahmin that is in search of reality, then 3 times, 3 Sandhya Vandanams. Early morning, dawn, midday, and dusk. Because there are 2 phases of time are coming together, that is a perfect time to connect. One is finishing, another phase is starting. One is finishing, another phase is starting. Those are the perfect time. If you can't do that at least twice a day, morning and night, if you can't do that once a day, we say that Hinduism is so liberal, doesn't put any pressure, but that our greatest strength has become our greatest weakness. We take no time, and our idea is, oh, in my mind, I do good, be good, do good, be good. Do good will only get you worldly pleasures and worldly support. But when you have cancer, when a child dies, when you are dying and suffering, do good, be good, nobody can help you. Nobody, even if they want to, they cannot. So that is why it is so important to faith. For how do you connect with that power? First, you start with Shraddha, with faith. All these 9 steps, one by one, experiment. Learn about it, talk about it, and what is it called? Think about it. Sublimate your, every time you feel, I am right, sublimate and give over your control to a higher power. So that is the meaning of this one, that the power is there and that power will not force itself on you. It is available. The sun is available to all. If we close your eyes and wear sunglasses and say, I can't see the sun, it cannot enter your eyes. You have to take off the sunglasses and make contact. If you sit in the house and never go out, how will you get the benefits of sunshine? So you have to make that effort and go there. Now, next one is, where is it? 7, 8. How will you, for those people who are very intellectual and very atheist and modern and scientific, and they've never ever thought about it, but suddenly something has happened to them and now they want to connect and they don't know how. And in fact, somebody asked a question last time, what is the first step? How do I know that I'm going negative path and I want to do a U-turn and go up? So this is the first step they are saying. Kate kanta kaste putraha samsaro yamayativa vichitra kasyatam kaha kutakayataha tattva chintayatadiha bhrata Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Ka, who is te, your, kanta, wife. And wife, please interchange with husband, and son, please interchange with daughter. Kanta, wife. Ka, who is, te, your, putra, son. Sansara, aya, this samsara, ativa, supremely, vichitra, indeed wonderful. Kasya, of whom? Tvam, are you? Kah, tvam, who are you? Kuta, from where? Aya, have you come? Tva, tatavva, of that truth, that here alone, bhrata, O brother. So it says, who is your wife? Who is your son? Who is your wife? Who is your husband? Who is your son? Who is your daughter? Supremely wonderful indeed is this samsara, of whom are you? From where have you come, O brother? Think of that truth. So this is going to the second of the obstacles, surasa. Before, the reason we are not able to connect, spend time and connect with this power is our relationships and our responsibilities. We say, oh, my children, my husband, my wife, my job, my whatever. And they say the whole life goes. How will you start? You have to start questioning your basic existence. Who am I? Where have I come from? Who are these relationships? What is death? Where will I go after death? So unless you ask these very existential questions, uncomfortable questions, you will never start that spiritual journey inward. And understanding that just by asking these questions, you will not get the answers. In fact, you'll get agitated. It will scare you. But that is the whole purpose. The thing is that we will get confused because intellect doesn't have the answers to these. Your mind cannot provide the answers. The next paragraph tell you who will give you the answers. But first you must question, because we keep saying, oh, no, today I can't come because, whatever your reasons are, your relationships, mostly it's your relationships or your responsibilities. And question that is what is saying, because there is a simple law of the universe. Where there is demand, there will be answer. If you ask the universe, it has no choice but to give you the answers. So this is saying first start questioning everything, because these are the one that is stopping you from connecting with that power, your relationships and your responsibilities. And then comes the verse 9, which in my opinion is the most important verse of Bhaja Govindam as far as I am concerned, because that is my answer and that is my solution. And I think it will hopefully resonate with you. Go to the next one. So after you all ask these questions, in your orbit and people, worldly people, whether your family or friends, they cannot answer the question. This is the next step. It says, Satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatatvam, nirmohatatve nishchalatatvam, Nishchalatatve jivanamukti. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Satsangatve, through the company of the good. Nisangatvam, there arises non-attachment. Nisangatve, through non-attachment. Nirmohatattvam, there arises freedom from delusion. Nirmohatatve, through the freedom from delusion. Nischala, immutable tattva, reality. Nischala tattve, through the immutable reality. Jivana mukti, comes the state of liberated in life. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. So the translation is, through the company of the good, there arises non-attachment. Through non-attachment, there arises freedom from delusion. When there is freedom from delusion, there is the immutable reality. On experiencing immutable reality, there comes the state of liberated in life. Now, Sangha, here they're saying good people. Sat, we have explained that in the last class, is that reality that never changes. We have realized everything changes. Your mind changes, your body changes, your relation changes, your reality, your wealth changes, your relationships changes, everything changes except that consciousness, that witness consciousness. So Sat is that supreme reality, the Govinda that we are calling it. And Sangha is the association with that. Now, what happens if we don't associate with the right people? We have discussed this in other contexts also. When you have a medical problem, you go to a doctor. You will not go to a lawyer. If you have a legal problem, you go to a lawyer. You will not go to an engineer. If you have engineering problem, you will not go to a beautician. So likewise, if you want to know the reality, then go to the people who have spent their best part of their life and other lifetimes learning about this reality. So that is what they mean by satsangatve. So the formula is very simple, but how to put it into practice? I will give you a story from the Mahabharata. What happens when you have satsang or nissang? Satsang is association with the right kind of people who can lead you towards that sat, that truth, and association with the kind of people who will remove you from that truth. We talk about Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. Dhritarashtra, these may be actual people, but they're also symbolically represents parts of us. Dhritarashtra was born blind. We are that avidya, born blind to our actual power. Dhrita is holding on. Rashtra is the kingdom. Kingdom, this body is our kingdom. This little family we have is our kingdom. This little job we have is our kingdom. Firmly holding on to that. And your closest advisor and ally, Gandhari, your wife, chooses to be blind. She's not blind, but chooses to be blind. So who will come into your life to advise you? Shakuni. And you know what happens. they give rise to 100 sins. And yet, Pandava on the other side, they had Krishna, that Govinda, same people from same family. That is the difference between having the right Sangha and the wrong Sangha. So that is one example. And why we need gurus. In other gurus don't, there's another verse which will define what is a guru. We have wrong notions of a guru. Even avatars, Ram and Krishna have gurus. Ram had Vashishta, Krishna has Sandipani, they had gurus. Because when we are born in this body, the 5 modifications happen. First one is what? Avidya. We completely forget who we are, where we have come from. Then Asmita, ego. I'm different from the world, I'm different from the God, and everybody is different from me. Then comes the Raga Dvesha, which is I like this, I don't like this. Then comes the Abhinivesha, fear of death. So that is why getting the right guidance is the most important step in this path. And that right guidance will, in Bhagavad Gita, there is a chapter 262, 63, verse 62, 63 shloka explains what happens if you don't have the right guidance and the right association of people. It is called the ladder of fall. And it is here. I will read it. It's written here in this book itself. Just a minute. I don't want to depend on my memory. Yes. Here it says, when a man thinks of objects, objects is outside you. Remember, subject and object, aham and idam. When a man thinks of objects, attachment for them arises. From the attachment, desire is born. From desire arises anger. From anger comes delusion. From delusion comes loss of memory. From loss of memory, the destruction of your discrimination. And from the destruction of discrimination, he perishes. So understand that the very existence, the minute you're born, you have desires. Now, how to use those desires? Remember, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, we talked about it. Take your resources, take your desires, use dharmakshetra, kurukshetra, right knowledge to go towards moksha, liberation. That means you can still be, but you're not entangled in it. So when a desire is not fulfilled, what happens? Anger. And when a desire is fulfilled, we get greed. So desire management is the ultimate solution to getting liberated, Jivan Mukti. So this is what it's talking about here, the ladder of fall Bhagavad Gita talks about. But this one is talking about the ladder of rise. How do you rise into life and into connecting with that power? And this says, with satsang, with the association with the right people, you disassociate from the wrong people. Not just wrong people, but wrong experiences, wrong groups of people. And when you disassociate with the wrong people and wrong experiences, you will get freedom from delusion. Again, what is delusion? Thinking that the world and people and wealth and pleasure and body have all the joy, and when it doesn't have it, and not understanding all the pleasure and power is here. So that is delusion. You will be free from that delusion. When you are free from that delusion, you will have a nischala tattva. That means nischala is calm, no agitation. Tattva is truth. Your mind will be pure. And only then will you be Jivan Mukti. Remember, I talked about it last time. We can't, having not done any of this Navada, the latest trend and charm is that jump into meditation, jump into meditation. You cannot meditate, not the quality of meditation you need for Jivan Mukti. Because when you close your eyes, all the day's problems and pains and reminders, who hurt you, who stabbed you, who cheated you, what will come? It's an impure mind. So when you come with the right satsang, they will teach you one thing, that greatest enemy, our greatest strength is our greatest enemy. Greatest strength is what? Our mind. Greatest enemy is what? The mind. So an impure mind has 6 enemies. It's called Shad Ripu. Shad is 6, enemies is, Ripu is enemy. First, they come in pairs. First is Kama Krodha, desire. If your desire doesn't get fulfilled, anger, Krodha. That's one set of enemies. Becoming aware, they will teach you that. You will understand what are you dealing with. These are your enemies. Then comes the second pair, Lobha Moha. If your desire gets fulfilled, Lobha is greed, more. And the more you get, the Moha is attachment. You can't let go. Yogakshema, remember we said we want something. When we get it, we don't want to lose that. So Lobha Moha comes as a pair. Then comes Mada Matsarya. If you have all by worldly standards, money, power, looks, everything, intelligence, mother, and what do you call ego, pride. Matsarya is if you don't have it, you are jealous of people who have it. So they come as a pair. That an impure mind will experience these 6 enemies. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So desires and anger, greed and attachment, pride and jealousy. Now how will you get rid of these things? In satsang itself, you will learn. Those people will teach you, the right people who have been seeking the sat and chit and ananda will teach you that you need sadhana chatustaya, the sadhana of 4 kinds. And today I will not go into details because you can have 6 lectures on this. I just want some people who have not heard these terms just to become aware of them. You will have to do more research, more study, more shravana, more mananam to understand these concepts. It is called Viveka, Vairagya, Shat Sampati, Mumukshutva. These 4 things you need to get rid of those 6 enemies. Viveka is your intellect, the ability to know what is good and bad for you. Because understand the difference between mind and intellect. Mind is just a thinking mind. It just does things, enjoys things or suffers. Viveka tells you what you should do and what you shouldn't do, what gives you pleasure, what doesn't. If it is not trained, that Viveka will pull you towards the world. If it is trained, it will turn your mind inwards and take you towards the Supreme Consciousness. So that Viveka, knowing what is right and wrong for me. Hanumanji had that Viveka. Bala Buddhi Viveka. Not just Bala and Buddhi. You must have the Viveka also. Viveka, then comes Vairagya. People trip over this and go blue in the face screaming. It is not give up everything. Vairagya is that monkey. Enjoy the banana, but when you know the banana is no good, learning to drop it. So dispassion. You enjoy, you still have a family, you still have a job, you still wear clothes, you still enjoy good food, you still go to a movie. But if that food is giving disease, drop it. If somebody is abusing you, walk away. If that movie is giving you nightmare, don't watch those kind of movies. That is the Vairagya. Then comes Shat Sampati. This is a collection of 6. Sampati is what do you call wealth? And that is called Sama, Dama, Titiksha, Uparati, Shraddha, and then Samadhan. Sama is mind control. Dama is sensory control. Eyes, nose, tongue, mouth. You have to control because unless you you control the mind, you cannot control the sense organs because sense organs are controlled by the mind. So first you have to work on mind control. That is why Hanumanji perfected mind. So Sama is mind control. Dama is sensory control. You will decide what you want to see. You will not be dragged into a pornographic site just because your senses wanted to see, eyes wanted to see pornography. You will not hear bad language because you did not know that that is bad for me. So Sama, Dama, Titiksha, forbearance, understanding that if you are made up of 5 elements, you are living in a world of duality. Everything you enjoy will be in context of its opposite. Cold, if you want, then you must have to bear heat. If you want praise, you must be okay with humiliation. If you want joys, you must be ready to suffer. So that is titiksha, because we are made up of 5 elements and 5 elements can only be experienced in duality and polarity. That is titiksha. Uparati is understanding how you slowly detach from the world, not from the word go. You can't give up your job, cannot give up your family, cannot. How after doing these things, only when you have mind control, only when you have sensory control, only when you can take the ups and downs of life with equanimity, then only you start detaching. Uparati. Upa is near, Rati is peace. You'll go towards peace. Then comes Shraddha, that faith, because from the beginning, you will not know whether I will connect with that Govinda or not. But you must have that faith when you go to new places, when you go to Himalaya, somebody has given a map. You don't know what's on top of that Himalaya, but why do you go? You have faith that people before you have gone and they've shown the path. Same with us. People before us have gone, traveled this path. And then comes Samadhan, is you become one with that power. So the Bhaja Govindam is that continuous practice of those 9 Navada Bhakti to connect with that power. And this is how the ladder of rise. We will first, if we don't, then the ladder of fall. And I will give you an example of what the ladder of fall is all about from Ramayana. You remember that scene, that anecdote or story where Sita looks at the golden deer. This talks about the ladder of fall, because Sita is our mind-body complex, and she is a very brilliant and educated and intellectual person, but it happens to the best of us. When she was in the forest, she was bored. She kept looking at a golden deer. Anybody, even an ordinary person, will know there is no such thing as a golden deer. But she kept on looking at it. When she kept on looking at it, attachment for that thing arose. With the attachment came the desire to possess it. With that, she insisted that Ram will go. Ram, which is our higher intellect, that supreme insight, is saying, Devi, you know there is no such thing. This is Maya. This is Moha Maya. She said, no, I want it. And he went. Now, marriage is that illusory shape-shifter. This is the whole world. It shifts shapes all the time. And it screeched. So call Lakshmana's name, your intellect, your supreme that what you call witness consciousness and observer self. Ram is already gone. You've sent him. Then your intellect, you're saying, go after that Mohamaya. And the intellect is saying, no, you know nothing can happen to Ram. But at that point, you're so angry because your intellect is stopping you from getting your desires. And Sita, such a soft-spoken Bhadra lady, started saying nonsense to Lakshman, that you have always wanted to possess me. You wanted, your wife is not here. You want me for yourself. And Lakshman says, I can't hear these things. But that is the delusion. With the delusion comes loss of memory. She forgot her relationship with the Lakshmana. How he has behaved, she completely forgot, because she was so deluded with having that golden deer. And then she sent away her intellect also. But before the intellect went, it drew 3 lines. Please do not cross. The 3 lines is physical boundaries, emotional boundaries, intellectual boundaries. But she crossed all of them. And who should come? Your ego will come. You've paved the way. There is no other way. Ego will come. You've sent your witness self, supreme consciousness away. You've sent your intellect away. You've crossed every boundary your intellect told you not to cross. Of course, Ravana will come. And Ravana comes in what form? That is also told here, how they will come. So that is this ladder of fall. And this is the antidote to that ladder of rise. Go to the right people who will satsang. Association with the right people will help you dissociate from the wrong people or wrong things. And when you dissociate from the wrong lower things, what will happen is you will get freedom from delusion. You will know what is good and what is bad, what is right, what is wrong. And when that happens, you'll have a pure mind. Nischala Tattva. And when there is pure mind, you will be able to see that reality and merge with that reality. So that is the meaning of this one. With Satsangatva, in my mind, this is the most powerful verse in all of Bhaja Govindam. There are many others like that, but yeah. Next one is, let's go to the next verse, which is the 10th one, the last verse for today. What will happen is these people who have already experienced this Sat, this unchanging reality, that is the abode of Sat, Chit, Ananda, that bliss that comes from knowing that you are it. This is what they will teach you. Vayasi gate ka kama vikara suske nire kaha kasaraha shine vitte kaha parivaro yate tatve kaha samsara bhaja govindam govindam bhaja mudhamate. Vayase gati, the age, youthfulness has passed. Kaha, where is kama vikara, lust and play? That is, when water is evaporated, dried up, kaha, kasaraha, that is the lake. Shine vitte, when the wealth is reduced, kaha, where is parivara, the retinue? When the truth is realized, kaha, where is sansara? Sansara is this world of change, of pain, of suffering, of ups and downs. Bhaja Govindam. So it says, when the age, youthfulness has passed, where is lust and its play? When water has evaporated, where is the lake? When wealth is reduced, where is the retinue? When the truth is realized, where is the samsara? Samsara is this world of dualities. It is that roller coaster where there are ups and there are downs, and there are downs. When they're up, you enjoy. When it's down, you are miserable, but you're unable to get out of it. But this wisdom is going to give you that exit route, that for the time being, I don't want to go up and down. I want to step back. So this one is, you have to understand the law of cause and effect. And there are three rules about cause and effect. First is that there can be no effect without a cause. And second one is effect is cause in another form. And third is when the cause is removed, effect cannot remain. So just like a seed, the seed becomes a tree. The seed may have gone, but it has transformed into the tree. So the effect cannot be there without this. The tree cannot be there without the seed. The tree is a modified seed. And if you take away the seed, the tree will vanish. Now, not the tree that has already sprouted. But if the new tree, if you take away all the seeds, it cannot regenerate itself. So this is what the Sama, Dama, Titiksha tells you, that when we are born, already we have come with a baggage of karma. And that's the Jivan Mukti and Deha Mukti. We have to go through this lifetime and burn out those karmas. That will not go away. But if you do not create new karma, and there is a formula how to create not new karma, then there can be no new trees. And there is a story in the Puranas about Lord Kubera. He was a very proud man. He was the richest god in all of Swarga. And he wanted to show off his wealth. He wanted to declare to the rest of the Swarga or the Devas how rich and abundant he is. So he wanted to go and invite Lord Ganesha, Lord Shiva to come to a feast. He said, come, I will lay out the best feast you have ever had. Shivji said, I'm not interested in all of this, but I will send my son to represent the family. So Ganesha goes there, Lord Ganesha, and he has so many smorgasbord of food there. And Lord Ganesha starts eating. He finished all the food, and no matter how much they replenished, he finished that. Then he ate the plates and the cups and the cutlery and the table. And Kubera is getting really nervous. Obviously, his ego is being broken, and he didn't know what to do with it. So he runs to Lord Shiva and he says, "What should I do?" So Lord Shiva said, "You give him this handful of toasted seeds. His hunger will be assuaged." So Kubera goes and gives Lord Ganesha a handful of toasted seeds, and sure enough, Lord Ganesha eats it, and then he's happy and his stomach is full. He blesses and goes. What does that mean? This food is like the desires in the world. The more you eat, the more you want. There is no end to consumption. Toasted seed means that these are things that cannot grow again. These seeds have been roasted. The ability to regrow has been taken away, which comes from what? That sadhana chatushtaya. Sama, Dama, Titiksha, Uparati, Shraddha, and Samadhan. So those are practices where you will roast the seeds of karma. It will not create more agitations for you. So that's what this thing is saying, that when you are in the presence of the truth, when you realize that the world or you is made up of two energies, two components, matter, consciousness. Matter is made up of 5 elements, and the world, body, and your mind, including your mind, is matter, considered matter, because it's constantly changing. It can never remain the same. It is not permanent. That is why it's called Maya. And in Sanskrit, you will understand the beauty. Many times they flip the word. When Maya is flipped, it becomes Yama, god of death. So that which does not exist, Maya does not exist, but you think it exists. And people will say, but here we are, the body is here, the people are here, the mountains are here, the cars are here. Yes. Think about your dreams. All the people are there. They feel real. But are they real? They're projections of your mind. When you wake up, those people, those mountains, those cars, everything vanishes. So that is our individual projection. But there is a collective projection. When we wake up to that color, we are the projections of that collective mind. When we wake up, we realize we were dream characters. We were characters in a movie. So when that truth you understand, do we cry if the hero dies or heroine dies, is lost, or palace is blasted away? We understand it was just a movie. We enjoy that movie and we come away none the more or none the less richer. Same with this. Once that knowledge comes to you, this samsara, the up and down, me and mine, the limitations of knowledge, the limitations of wealth, the limitations of pleasure, the limitations of family, the limitations of love, nothing will bother you. You will enjoy it. When you don't enjoy it, you will drop it. And you can go back and forth at will, not forced to go back and forth because of your karma, because of your ignorance, avidya. So that consciousness, you will realize that everything other than the consciousness will leave me one day. Because the movie will end one day. The dream or nightmare will end one day. Everything in that will end. But me, the observer, the witness will never end. And once you realize that, Sat, this is the one thing that will never end. Chit, you become aware of that. Then comes the Ananda, the bliss, which is different from joy and sorrow, which come in pairs. Bliss comes by itself.